Honorable members, prayers. Almighty God, we humbly beseech thee to look with favor upon this Parliament of the Republic of Ghana. Grant that it may perform its high duty as in thy sight. Give divine guidance to the President of the Republic. Endow members of Parliament and ministers of state with discernment and vision, integrity and courage, that through the labors of government, this land and people may be well and truly served, and that good purposes for the common human life be realized in our midst. Amen. O God, grant us a vision of our country, fair as it might be, a country of righteousness, where none shall wrong his neighbor, a country of plenty, where evil and poverty shall be done away with, a country of brotherhood, where all success shall be founded on service and honor shall be given to the deserving. A country of peace, where government shall rest on the will of the people and the love for the common good. Bless the efforts of those who struggle to make this vision a living reality. Inspire and strengthen our people, that they may give time, thought, and sacrifice to speed the day of the coming beauty of Ghana and Africa. Amen. Honorable members, we commence with item 4, correction of votes and proceedings and official reports. We start with the votes and proceedings of Friday, 9th July 2021. Page 1. Page 2. Page 3. Page 4. Page 5. Page 6. Page 7. Yes, Honorable Member.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I was here on Friday, but my name has been captured under the absentees.
Sorry,
53.
Item
number 50. Number 53, that's Joseph Akwete 30.
Item number 4.
Number 53.
Yes, this is under item 4, number 53, Tete Akwete Joseph. Table office, he says he was present on Friday. Please, kindly take notice. Page 8. Yes, Honorable Blackwell.
Most grateful, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, please, item number 9 on page 8, the first paragraph, the last line, the last word, menace, measures to arrest the menace. Menace has been spelled wrongly. And item number 10, Mr. Speaker, the last but one line, the private office of H.H. Sheikh Ahmed Dalmouk Al Maktoum, insert of the private office of H.H. Sheikh Ahmed Dalmouk.
Table office, kindly take note. Yes, Honourable Member.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Please, on page 6, item number 21, Bandim Azuma Abednego. I was in Parliament and in the chamber last Friday, but I've been marked absent.
Table office, kindly take note. He's talking about page 6, under item 4, number 21, the MP for Bunkurugu. Page 9. Yes, Honourable Blackwell.
Most grateful, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the third line of item number 12I, private office of, please insert of H.H. Sheikh Ahmed Dalmouk, and then the terms of reference for the committee, item number 12II, to determine the procurement process that was followed and the propriety of same, not to determine whether the procurement process that was followed. So I think if we delete whether, we'll be fine. If we can delete whether. And then item number 4, the last paragraph, Mr. Speaker, I recall that the motion is about middlemen, not a middleman, because there were quite a number of them. So middleman should be changed to middlemen.
Yes, Honourable Member, but your correction on item 12, Roman 2. You said we should delete whether. And so it's the committee that will determine the procurement process. Determine, that is the word. To determine the procurement process, that was followed.
That was followed.
To determine.
Yes, the procurement process that was followed and the propriety of same. But because the rendition now is to determine whether the procurement process that was followed and the propriety of same, it doesn't sit well, Mr. Speaker. But I don't know if leader has a better rendition.
Because when you say the procurement process,
the member for North Tongue is not taking a cue from you. It was to determine whether due procurement processes were followed and the propriety of same. Thank you.
That is a better rendition. Yes, table office, kindly take note. You see, to determine the due procurement process that was followed and the propriety of same. Page 10. Honourable members, in the absence of any further corrections, the votes and proceedings of the 26th sitting of the second meeting of the first session held on Friday. Yes, Minority Leader.
Speaker, page 10, the item VI, just to refer to table, to go back to the record, there was a text minuted by the two leaders so that you get the rendition well as to whether the minister misled Parliament in the transaction so that you capture the appropriate words. But it can only be the text that you have. Whether the minister misled Parliament in the procurement of the vessels and the cost of it. But I'm saying, Mr. Speaker, if you just direct them to go to the text, they will have the better rendition because it was handwritten for them. Thank you.
Yes, table office, you are directed to look at the text of the submission that was made and capture the proper rendition on the votes and proceedings of Friday. Honourable members, again, in the absence of any further corrections, the votes and proceedings of the 26th sitting of the second meeting of the first session held on Friday, 9th July 2021, as corrected, are adopted as the true record of proceedings. Honourable members, I have two editions of the official reports. One dated 1st June, Tuesday, 1st June 2021, and the second one, Thursday, 3rd June 2021. So we'll start with the, yes, Honourable Member.
Right, Honourable Speaker, please, I rise to draw your attention that in your absence, we worked on these official reports. We have worked on them. I recall that we made some inputs on them last week.
Well, thanks for drawing my attention. The table office has confirmed what you said, but they just gave them to me, so we're proceeding to do the corrections. Thanks so much. So we will move to item 5. Item 5 on the order paper. There is an urgent question standing in the name of the Honourable Member for Bunkrugu, Honourable Abednego Azuma Bandim. The Honourable Member may now ask the question.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. I rise to ask the Minister for Roads and Highways Okay, thank you. I rise to ask the Minister. Oh, okay.
Yes, Honourable Member. We're now ready to listen to you.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. I rise to ask the Minister for Roads and Highways when the newly constructed bridges at Kambatiak, Bankun, Kambok, and Nanyia will be filled with gravel to avert losses of lives and properties due to frequent accidents resulting in the loss of several lives and properties. Thank you.
Yes, Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Bunkrugu-Naria road is 33 kilometers and it's a feeder road. and serves as an alternative route between Bumplugu and Nakwandori. This road also serves as the only motorable access to major communities such as Kambatiak, Bankoni, Kambagu, and so on, all within the Bumplugu Nakwadori district of the Northeast region. The road, which is mainly gravel and earth surface, has received some level of maintenance under the Department of Federal Roads DFR annual routine maintenance program over the years. Mr. Speaker, currently the Bumplugu Naya Nasiabok Kambugu to Kambatiak feeder roads were selected and considered for spot improvement under the Department of Federal Road Periodic Maintenance Program in 2019. Work completed to date consists of construction of 5 number 900 millimeter diameter pipe culverts, 1 number 3/3 by 3 meter box culvert completed. The Speaker, outstanding made up of clearing and formation, approach, filling, and sub-base layer, as well as overall physical completion to date is put at 21%. Mr. Speaker, currently the program is that work on the project stalled since November 2020. The contractor has been issued with first and second warning letters and instructed to provide a revised program of works. Though the contractor has indicated his willingness to return to site, delayed payment for work done has affected their mobilization to site. Mr. Speaker, the future program is that immediately the contractor has been instructed to secure the site by putting in place warning signs, directional signs, and other traffic management measures to ensure the safety of road users. Efforts are being made for the contractor to resume work within a month as a matter of urgency. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Member, any supplementary question?
Yes, right, Honourable Speaker. The Minister indicated that work on the project stalled since November 2020, almost a year now. What was the initial timeline for the project?
Honourable Minister is asking for the official timelines.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the duration for the contract was 12 months. It commenced on 15th April 2020 and completion date was anticipated to be 16th April 2021. So it should have been finished within 12 calendar months. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honourable Member, any further?
Right, Honourable Speaker. The Minister again indicated that the contractor has been issued with warning letters, first and second warning letters. What is the response of the contractor, and what specific measures are being made for the contractor to get back to site? Thank you.
Yes, Honourable Minister.
I thank you, Mr. Speaker. Yes, Mr. Speaker, issuing 2 consecutive letters to the contractor is only a matter of procedure. So it's just a procedural process. And that should always precede formal termination of the contract. And the text of my answer unambiguously stated that the contractor has been asked to take back site within a month, failure of which the contract will be determined. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
You have the last opportunity for supplementary question.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. The people of these communities are really suffering, and as I indicated, there has been loss of lives. Would the people be justified in coming out with headpans to fetch gravel to help themselves?
Are you asking the minister whether you could mobilize your people to do community labor on that part of the road?
Right, Honorable Speaker, I want to know if the minister think the people will be justified in coming out to, because they have given an indication that they wanted to go out and look for stones and gravel because they are really suffering. So I want to know whether the minister thinks that the people will be justified in doing that.
Are you asking whether the people could do it or they could be justified? I don't understand why you are using justification.
Will it be right, Honorable Speaker, for the people who are so distressed and don't know to go out in a communal labor?
Actually, the people you yourself have indicated what the people want to do. They only want the permission minister, whether they could do what they want to do. To go out with headpans, mobilize gravel, stone chips, fill the difference between the culverts and then the low-level road. Is that not it?
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Yes. So, Minister, your kind permission to do that. Can they mobilize and do it?
I thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, obviously, I wouldn't want them to do that. Fixing of roads, we all know, is the responsibility of government. But in doing so, problems and challenges are encountered. But when challenges are encountered, there must be ways of dealing with them. So, yes, I understand that our people everywhere are anxious to get their roads fixed. And I want to assure them that government is doing everything possible to fix all roads, including that one which has even already started. So obviously I wouldn't want them to take that course of action, and that the problem will be resolved in not too distant future, and that's why we are working on it. So if they want my permission to do that, that permission is respectfully withheld. And I want to assure them that government will do everything to fix the road. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Supplementary question. Yes. Honorable Wisdom Gidisu.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to know from the minister, what temporary measures is he putting in place to ensure that lives are saved? That is to avoid further accidents that have been occurred on the road. The temporary measures he's putting in place to avoid further accidents, because he's talking about the honorable member talk about reoccurrence of accidents and lives are being lost. So I want to ask from the minister the temporary measure he's putting in place to ensure that to avoid further accidents that are occurred on the federal road. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, obviously nobody wishes that we experience series of accidents on our roads in any part of our country, whether in the north, south, west, or east. So the responsibility of government to fix roads is ongoing, but it may interest you to note that research has established that almost 85% or more of road accidents are attributed to the human factor. So government will continue to work on roads, even though they are not currently under construction. We carry out routine maintenance on them just to make them more motorable. But whether accidents will occur or not, we should always adhere to the teachings of the National Road Safety Authority and the work being done by the MTTD of the police service, so that all of us who sit behind the steering wheel will be cautious and drive responsibly, so that we don't encounter needless accidents on our roads. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, please, let's move on. We have so many questions for the Minister for Roads and Highways. I will plead with you for us to move on to the next questions. This one was urgent question. We are not going to the normal processing questions. So we take item 6, which is on questions. And we start with question number 71, who stands in the name of the honorable member for Kumewu, Honorable Philip Basua. The honorable member may ask the question now. Since the honorable member is not available and there is nobody with the authority of the honorable member for and on his behalf, I move on to the next question. Deputy Majority Leader, yes.
Mr. Speaker, the honorable member authorized Honorable Anadompre to ask the question on his behalf, and he's indicated that.
Sorry?
Mr. Speaker, the honorable member Basua authorized Honorable Anadompre, the chief whip, to seek your leave for the question to be asked on his behalf. If, Mr. Speaker,
I don't know how you got that. Once the honorable member is around, he will be the one seeking.
He informed me. He informed me.
Are you his counsel?
No, Mr. Speaker. Dompre informed me to communicate same to you. Mr. Speaker, I'm just doing that.
Yes.
I'm grateful.
Yes.
Speaker,
thank you.
Granted.
Honorable Majority Chief Whip.
Speaker, thank you. Speaker, I rise to ask the Minister for Roads and Highways the status of the Kumewu town roads. Thank you, Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
I thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, Kumawu is the capital of the Seche Kumawu district of the Ashanti region. A number of selected links within the town were packaged for upgrading to bitumen surfacing. Currently, Mr. Speaker, contract for upgrading to bitumen surfacing of Kumawu town roads measuring 5.25 kilometers was awarded on 17th April 2019. The contract on 10th July 2019 and was expected to be completed by 9 June 2020. Mr. Speaker, the contractor vacated site in October 2020 after executing 1,060 meters of size 600 millimeter concrete U-drains and 100 meters of size 450 millimeter concrete U-drains, which is projected at 5% physical completion. Warning letters have been issued to the contractor to reactivate the site, but the contractor has so far failed to return to site. The future program, Mr. Speaker, is as a result of the long delay in completing the works, the necessary processes have been initiated to terminate the contract and to repackage for award. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honourable Member, any supplementary?
Speaker, thank you. Speaker, there are no supplementary questions to me. Thank you.
Honourable members, we move to question number 72, who stands in the name of the Honourable Member for Sola Tuna Kalba. Honourable Andrew Dare Chiwite. The Honourable Member may ask the question now.
I'm most grateful, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to ask the Minister for Roads and Highways the status of the Tuna Kalba Road, which was awarded on contract in the year 2016.
Yes, Honourable Minister.
I thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Tuna Kalba feeder road is 30 kilometers long and located in the Sola Tuna Kalba district of the Savannah. It is a major link between communities including Sola Tuna Kalba as well as communities along the banks of the Black Water River. The upgrading of the road was awarded in two separate contracts. Mr. Speaker, the first contract was the upgrading of Tuna Kalba Phase 1 feeder road measuring 20 kilometers. Contract for the upgrading of this road was awarded on 12 July 2016 and was expected to be completed on 5 April 2018. Progress of work is projected at 24% physical completion. Currently, Mr. Speaker, the program is that works that have been executed is to the sub-base level. 2. Upgrading of Tuna Kalba Phase 2 feeder road also measuring 10 kilometers. The Speaker, contract for the upgrading of this Phase 2 road was awarded on 21st July 2016 and was expected to be completed on 3rd April 2018. Progress of work is projected at 33% physical completion. Currently, Mr. Speaker, the works have been executed to the sub-base level. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honourable Member, any supplementary?
Yes, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, through the Minister's answer and comparing with an answer he gave when I asked a question on this same road on the 27th of October 2017, I am forced to believe that the people who feed the ministry with answers do not actually report what is on the ground. Mr. Speaker, on the 27th of October 2017, the minister's answer indicated that the work was 33% complete. Since then, there hasn't been any work done on the road. The road has deteriorated to 0%. Today, the minister's answer captures the physical completion as 33% and 24%. Mr. Speaker, that cannot be accurate because the road has gone completely bad. As I speak now, the next 30 minutes rain we get, the road will be cut off at a village called Komfokse. I traveled on that road the day before yesterday, Mr. Speaker. My question now is, will the minister be able to convince this House to believe that he has not caused, or his government has not caused financial loss to the state? Because the road was 33% complete as we speak. Totally bad. How will you convince me that I should not assume that you have caused financial loss to the state? Thank you.
Honorable member, can you ask another supplementary? This one is not supplementary.
Mr. Speaker, when exactly will a contractor be called back to site? Because on 27th October 2017, the minister assured us in this House, I still have I have the official report here. He told by 2018, the road was to be completed. And so he said he was going to ensure that the contractor got back to site, which never happened. So, Honorable Minister, please tell us and the people of Tona Calva when exactly you have the contractor back to site to work on the road. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Minister, when will the contractor be back to site?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I cannot agree more with the concerns being expressed by my colleague. And I stated clearly the situation on that road. Work started in earnest and the contractor was doing well and had built the road up to the soft base level. He was left with only one level to apply primacy, just to move from soft base to base and then put on the primacy to secure the road. It was at that level that the road was abandoned. And once the road had not received primacy, with the slightest rainfall, the condition of the road obviously will be deteriorated. That is why I indicated in my answer that everything done to send the contractor back to site, failure of which remedial measures will be taken. And currently, Mr. Speaker, my ministry is reviewing all these ongoing projects. That is why we are not awarding any more new road projects. So I want to assure you that within the next 4 weeks, if the contractor does not reactivate sites, it will be terminated and a more competent contractor, awarded the projects. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honourable Member.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I have marked the number of weeks down, 4 weeks. I will follow up with the minister in the office. But for an immediate action, especially in Calva town, the culverts in town, and then the drainage, the gutters, are causing a lot of havoc. anytime it rains, people's homes get flooded. Will you speak with the contractor to, as a matter of urgency, work on the Calvert Town culverts and the gutters to prevent further flooding in Calvert Town? Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Minister, we will be prepared to direct the contractor to at least focus on the issue.
I am very much encouraged by my colleagues' assurance that he will get in touch with me and liaise with me on this project. I welcome that, and I want to assure him that until the contractor returns to site, my ministry will keep a close eye on the road and bring it under our ongoing routine maintenance exercise to make sure that the road becomes more traveled. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, we move to the next question, which is question number 73, stands in the name the Honourable Member for Afram Plains North, Honourable Betty Nana Ifua Crosby Mensah.
Thank you very much.
Yes, please, go
Mr.
on.
Speaker, for the opportunity. My question to the Minister for Roads and Highways, to ask the Minister when the road from Echiamount Rome to Agodeke in the Afram Plains district will be constructed, since the road has become unmotorable. Thank you.
Yes, Honourable Minister.
I thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Echiamount from Agodeke is 103 kilometer long road and forms part of the regional road R72. The road is located in the Afram Plains region. Mr. Speaker, intermittent sections of the road are bitumen surfaced and in fair to good condition, while the gravel surface sections of the road are in poor condition. The current program, Mr. Speaker, is that there is no major rehabilitation program on this road. However, routine maintenance contracts such as pothole patching and grading works have been awarded to make the road more traveled. The works are ongoing and are scheduled for completion on 31st December 2021. Mr. Speaker, the future program on this road is that engineering studies have been carried out to rehabilitate the road. The works have been packaged for implementation in phases, and the first phase will be considered in the 2023 budget. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Member, any supplementary?
Yes, Right Honourable Speaker. Mr. Speaker, listening to the Honourable Minister, I'd like to make some few corrections. The Echiamount Rome Agodeke Road extends from Echiamount Rome in the Afram Plains South District and then connects through the Afram Plains North. So those two, the road actually connects two districts. The fact is, less than 30% of the entire road from Echiamount Rome to Agodeke is bitumen surface. The bitumen have even worn off, Mr. Speaker. And currently, you cannot differentiate between bitumen surface and feeder road. That is the current situation. My next question, Mr. Speaker, is when was the tax for the pothole patching and grading awarded, and to which company, Mr. Speaker?
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Speaker, I thank you very much. The honorable member indicated that part of the road has developed potholes. We are not unaware of that. That is why my answer indicated that we have awarded contracts for routine maintenance of pothole patching. So the part that you said is bituminous surface that has developed potholes. That is why we are taking action on that. Because if the road had not originally been tarred, it wouldn't develop potholes. So it's divided into two, those tarred and the longer section, which is gravel and earth stage. So, Honorable Member, that is why we are trying to do pothole patching on the already tied section. The other section is going to be worked on, and the contract for that has been awarded, and you want to know the company that is going to do it is Mohajara Ventures. Undertake that, and we have two contractors going to work on it simultaneously. So Mohajara Ventures and Casbidon Ventures on the untiled, unpaved section of the road, whilst we keep on working on the pothole patching, and that will be undertaken by Medium Enterprise. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Minister, you haven't come out with the answer yet. It says when was the contract awarded for the routine maintenance, pothole patching, and grading works?
We awarded that around March, April this year. I thank you.
Well, the minister hasn't got a specific answer here, so he said around March, April this year. Yes, any further supplementary?
Thank you once again. Mr. Speaker, unfortunately, I just returned from my constituency, and as I speak, we do not have any contractors on the...
Honourable member, that is rather fortunate, not unfortunate.
Mr. Speaker, I'm just building on my question.
It's not unfortunate that you...
Fortunately, you just returned from your constituency, but not unfortunately.
Fortunately, I just returned. Yes, Mr. Speaker, thank you. And unfortunately, there's nothing happening on our roads. Can I have any assurance from the minister to work on the Donkokrum Township will commence soon? And if yes, when specifically? Thank you.
I didn't get the name of the town. Oh, that is a different question altogether. The question we have here is a question dealing with Echi Amamfrum Agodeke Road. Donkokrum is a different question altogether. That cannot be supplementary. You can ask that in future. It's not part of this one. Yes. So, but the minister wants to give you the answer, so I'll allow him.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, my honourable colleague wants to ambush me. But since that question is of interest to her and, of course, to the constituents, I want to assure you and give you this privileged information that Donko Krom is a very important town to us. And it's not only the Donko Krom town roads. Very soon, and I will give you that information privately. Very soon, Donko Krom town roads work is going to come up, and we are also very soon going to award the bridge over the Volta River, for easy access to Donko Krom and the Afram Place. This has been on the drawing board since 2009. It couldn't materialize. It's going to materialize now. I thank you very much.
Actually, I'm tempted to ask you, how soon is soon? How soon is soon?
Mr. Speaker, with the highest respect, as soon as practicable.
Honorable member, you heard now. The soon is equals to practicability. Honorable members, we move to the next question. Question number 74. Question number 74 stands in the name of the Honorable Member for Central Tongue, Honorable Alexander Roosevelt Hotoji. Please, Honorable Member, you may ask your question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to ask the Minister for Roads and Highways when the ministry will be considering the second stretch of the Yokutipo Ojaji Hotel route in the Central Town constituency.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
I thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Yoki Tiku Koviaji to Uti Road is 19.7 kilometers. It is located in the Central Town District of the Volta region. Currently, Mr. Speaker, the first section of 12 kilometers was awarded on 5th July 2016 and was scheduled for completion on 8th November 2017. The completion date was extended to 20th February 2021. Works are ongoing with 11 kilometers of primary seal completed. Mr. Speaker, the second stretch of the road, which is captured as upgrading of Mafi Adadipo to Wote, measuring 7.7 kilometers, has also been awarded. The contractor is scheduled to be given possession of site on 15 July 2021 to enable him mobilize to commence with the work. I thank you, Mr.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I would like to find out from the Honorable Minister as to whether he is aware that the contractors for the first stretch from Yokutipo to Adako are no longer on site.
Yes, Honorable Minister, are you aware they are no longer on site? Honorable Member, what is the name of the town? Is it Yokitipo or Yokutipo?
Is the Honorable Minister aware that
Honorable Member, what is the name of the town? Because it's spelled differently in the standing orders. We have Tikpo,
to
and we also have
Adapo.
your Kitipo.
Your Kitipo to Adapo.
So it's KI, not KU.
No, it's KU. Yoku, Tipo to Adapo.
Yes, but throughout in the answer, the spelling is your Kitipo
to Adapo. The spelling of your Kitipo is YORKUTIKOP. Your Kitipo.
Yes, so you should correct it in the answer. Correct it in the answer.
Okay. Okay. All right. We'll correct it.
Yes, Honorable Minister, are you aware?
He's there. I've
The
corrected.
contractor is not on site.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as I indicated, the entire stretch is divided into two so far as the contract award is concerned. The first stretch that's from your Kitipo to Koviaji, is being undertaken by Michias Radio Company Limited. The second part, between Mafi Adadipo to Uti, is being executed by Michias Sanam Company Limited. The former is, I'm sure, what you are referring to as has left the site.
The first stretch is from Yokutipo to Adapo. And then the second stretch is from the Adapo town through Oviaji to Hute. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Your description of the project, respectfully, is from your point of view. My description of the division of the road takes precedence over yours, because we are working on the project. So the project name that I give is what is in our database, and respectfully takes precedence over yours. So I am saying that the entire stretch of the road from your question is correct. We are not arguing about the road. But respectfully, I am saying that from our technical point of view and from our database, the stretch is divided into two. And the first stretch covers of 12 kilometers, covers your Kitipo to Koviazi. And then the second stretch, as project description, measuring 7.7 kilometers, is from Adadipo to Uti. So you have to note it. Yours cannot take precedence over that of my ministry, respectfully. So this is not for argument.
Mr. Minister, that is not exactly what I'm saying.
Honorable member, please, will you resume your seat? When you catch my eye.
So, thank you, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, the second paragraph of my answer under current program says that we are yet to hand over site to Michias Sanam Company Limited. We have done the award, we have gone through the procurement process, and we are handing over site to him to resume work. The first part being handled by Michias Radio Company Limited, where some amount of work has been done, is what you are indicating that the contractor has abandoned site. Ordinarily, I may agree with you, but technically, I can tell you the contractor has not abandoned site. Work is not ongoing for now. That's why you are indicating that he has abandoned site. But from technical point of view, the contractor has not packed off site. So we have to do what the employer is obliged to do for work to resume in earnest. That's why I say that we are in the process of doing that. And it was as a result of the usual delayed payment. So the contractor has not vacated site. But I agree with you that work has slowed down and we are going to reactivate that work. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honourable Member, any more supplementary?
Mr. Speaker, I would like to point it out to Honourable Minister that the contractor, as I speak, is not on site. And the first stretch that they had the primer sale is almost deteriorated, worsening the situation for motorists on that part of the road. Then my second question is to ask the minister as to whether it will be possible for me to witness the day of giving the possession of site to the new contractor, so that I'll be in the position to acquaint myself with that contractor before he comes to site.
Honourable Member, there's disagreement here. You said that the contractor is not on site. The minister agrees with you that physically the contractor is not on site, but technically the contractor has not vacated site. And so the ministry will do what it has to do for you to see that the contractor is still on site. And so this second contractor being given and you being on site as witness, it doesn't come in. If you have any other supplementary question, you may ask.
Honourable Speaker, Mr. Speaker, the contractor I'm talking about now is about the second stretch. He indicated to this House that 2 days away from today, that contractor will be given possession of site at the ministry. That is what I am trying to find out as to whether I'll be allowed to witness that, so as to be able to acquaint myself with the contractor.
Yeah, but Honourable Member, nobody can prevent you from being on site when they are awarding a contract in your constituency. You lead the constituents. And so if they are doing such a thing, you have to be present. Unless for some good reason you yourself cannot be present. But nobody can prevent you from being present. You want confirmation from the minister, I will ask the minister to respond to you. Yes, Honourable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. You have made it easier for me to answer that question. And I can assure my honorable colleague that even if it pleases him, I will organize a sword cutting ceremony and you will cut the sword. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable members, we move to the next question. Question number 75 stands in the name of the Honourable Member for Ashaiman, Honourable Ernest Henry Noble. Honourable Member, you may ask your question now.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. I rise to ask the Minister for Roads and Highways when the following roads in Ashaiman municipality will be constructed: Presby Junction to Police Junction Road, Afariwa to New Town Road, New Tulaku to Official Town Road, Fitan Line Roads, Night Market Road, Old Tulaku Roads, Community 22 Roads, and Lebanon roads. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, Ashaman is a densely populated town located to the north of Tema in the Greater Accra region of Ghana and is the capital of the Ashaman municipality. Mr. Speaker, current program for the roads are as follows. 1. The Presby Junction to Police Junction Road. Mr. Speaker, the above road is being undertaken under the project name titled Construction of Road and Paving at Jericho and Pink Lady in the Ashaman constituency. This project is being undertaken by the Coastal Development Authority, CODA. The project is at 57.5% physical completion. It is reported that the contractor is currently inactive on site due to financial constraints. Work done to date on that road are as follows: 450-meter long, 600-millimeter diameter concrete U-drain, 200-meter of curb works, 3 2,730 meters of sub-base and base works. 2, that is the second road, is Aferi to Newtown roads. The Speaker, the above road is being undertaken under the title Rehabilitation of Tema International School Road and Aferiwa link to Ashaman, measuring 1.37 kilometers. The contract for the above project was awarded on April 29, 2019. All measures taken to get the contractor to commence work have proven futile. 3 and 4 roads are combined, and this deals with New Tulaku to Official Town Road and the Lebanon roads. Mr. Speaker, the above roads are being undertaken under the project name titled Rehabilitation of Anan, Amperi and Agozi Close Roads in Ashaman, measuring 1.5 kilometers. The project commenced on December 6, 2016 and was scheduled for completion on December 5, 2017. 2 variation orders were raised on the project to ensure comprehensive coverage and the development of the community. Mr. Speaker, the original contract is 92% complete. However, the revised contract is at 18% physical completion due to the inclusion of the additional works totaling 7.05 kilometers. The contractor is currently not on site due to delayed payment for work done. Work done to date consists of 2,191.50 meter long, 600 millimeter diameter concrete U-drain, 2.08 kilometer of roadworks made up of sub-base, base, primary seal, and ceiling works. 4, that is the 4th road, known as the Fita Land Roads. There is no current program for these Fita Line roads. 5, Night Market Road. The above road is being undertaken under the project name of Rehabilitation of Night Market Road and Links. The Coastal Development Authority, CODA, is undertaking the above project in the Ashama municipality. The contract is yet to mobilize. The contractor, is yet to mobilize to site to commence the works. 6. Old Tulaku roads. There is no current program for this road. 7. Community 22 roads. The above road is being undertaken under the project name Rehabilitation of Selected Roads in Community 22 Tema, measuring 8.98 kilometers. The project was awarded on 2nd July 2020. Works commenced on 31st August 2020 for completion on 28th February 2022. Progress of work is at 11% physical completion and the contractor is on site working. Work done to date include 5.2 kilometers of base works and primer sealing of new roads of previously sealed roads. The future programs for all these roads are as follows, Mr. Speaker. 1. Construction of road and paving of Jericho Pink Road in the Ashama constituency. The department will liaise with the client, the Coastal Development Authority, to get the contractor to remobilize to site to complete outstanding works. The second road, that is rehabilitation of Tema International School Road and Aferiwa link to Ashaman, measuring 1.37 kilometers. Department of Urban Roads is in the process of terminating the contract and re-award sale for completion when funding is available. 3 and 4 combined, that is the rehabilitation of Anang Ampere and Agusi Cross Roads in Ashama, measuring 1.5 kilometers. Efforts are being made to get the contractor to remobilize to complete all outstanding works. That is Fita Line Roads. Department of Urban Roads will liaise with the Assembly to conduct an inventory on the road and consider budget for sale for future development. 5. Rehabilitation of Night Market Road and Links Road. Department of Urban Roads will liaise with the clients, the Coastal Development Authority, to get the contractor to remobilize to site to complete outstanding works. And last but not the least, the 6th road, Old Tulaku Roads. Department of Urban Roads will liaise with the Assembly again to conduct an inventory on these roads and consider budget for sale for future development. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Member, any supplementary?
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, in the answer to Roman number II, the last paragraph, the Minister says the contract for the above project was awarded on April 29, 2019, and all measures taken to get the contractor to site proved futile. Since 2019, we are still looking for the contractor to move to site. What step is the ministry taking to make sure the contractor goes to site or the contract being re-awarded? Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honourable Minister.
I thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the contractor involved in this Aferi to Newtown Roads is Bashilo Investment Limited. That is true, and we occasionally experience these problems. Contractors or potential contractors with the right documentation put in bids for jobs. They go through the procurement process. They win the bid, and we enter into contractual relationship with them. And us being experienced from this particular contractor, and it's not an isolated case. Occasionally we experience that kind of thing. They come in, win the contract, but they are unable even to go to site. But as soon as that happens, the unfortunate aspect of it is that a contractual relationship would have already been established. So you have to give a reasonable time in accordance with the terms of the contract and issue out warning letters, until you come to the end of the mandated processes to terminate the contract. And it takes a bit of time. So now termination is being done, and we have to repackage again the project and re-award. So we have to give ourselves another 4 weeks minimum for this project to be re-awarded. It has cost a bit of time, regrettably, but we had no choice. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Any supplementary question?
Yes, Right Honorable Speaker. What the minister just said is debatable anyway, but I will not go into that debate. The answer, Roman number 3, III, and then VII. The minister said the original contract is 92% complete. Mr. Speaker, I don't know where the minister procures his answers from. Because on that stretch of road where I pass to my house every day, not even a wheelbarrow, no heap of sand, no stone, and the minister is saying 92% complete. I am just surprised. I want the minister to tell me, to convince me and the people of Ashiama that that particular stretch of road is really 92% complete.
Unless you're talking about different road.
Thank you. Unless you are talking of different road. But my question is...
He has revised it to 18%. He said the original contract is 92% complete. However, the revised contract is at 18% physical completion due to the inclusion of the additional works totaling 7.05 kilometers. So the 18% is now the percentage completion. Yes, go on.
Mr. Speaker, the moment I say there's no wheelbarrow on the road, nothing. Ever since I became an MP, I have never seen anybody, not even a human being, digging a hole on that road before. And so I'm just asking the minister to convince me, really, where the 18, even the 18%, where is it? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Minister, his position is that nothing has happened on the road, and then you are giving it 18% completion.
I thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, with the highest respect, at all times I want my colleagues also to understand the issues concerning road construction are technical. From the ordinary layman's point of view, I agree with you. I agree with you that if 92% is the completion percentage, you may not understand. And you are right, I agree with you 100%. That's why I am reminding all of us, including myself, that we are talking about technical issues. In my answer, I did indicate in my original answer that there was evaluation order. Evaluation order means that there had been additions to the original scope. And at the same time, I also did indicate that the overall completion percentage is 18%. And the original scope dealt with only two aspects of the works. And the original scope dealt with the open concrete U drains as one, and two, before the road works started. So if the drains were being constructed, because that was the original contract, if all the drains had been done to specification as contracted, it could have even been 100%. But the earthworks wouldn't have started. So you might not know that initial scope stood alone. And if you have observed, because it's your constituency, I'm sure you are aware that the drains had been done. So the drains constituted one contract. And then the earthworks. So when I said 18% is being done on the overall contract, then it tells you that not substantial work has been done. And that's why I attributed it to the delay of the work by the contractor halting the job, which we are taking steps to make sure that the contractor comes back to site. So the 92% refers to the drains, that the contractor was supposed to do on a portion of the road project. So it's related to a specific job, and that's what I indicated. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable members, we move to the next question, question number. Honourable members, by our rules, you are entitled to 3 supplementary questions. By my count, not by your count. If you want to pray that I give you a concession, I may do so. Because Ashaman is a republic, you see, and so we have to respect Ashaman. Yes, your last supplementary question.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Really, I'm not convinced about the minister's answer. I don't know whether the the 18% is paperwork or physical work on the ground. Because when you go to Etiwa, for instance, Mr. Speaker, the road is start up to cemetery. That is 100% complete, to the best of my knowledge. But there's nothing on this particular road, and the minister is still saying 18% complete.
No, you can say it again.
I'm saying whether the 18% is paperwork or physical work on the ground. Because when you go to Etiwa, for instance, road is start from the beginning to even the cemetery. And so that is 100% complete. So you are still insisting that 18% complete on this particular road. Still debatable. I just want to ask you, on the question 1, Roman number I, you said the minister vacated the contractor vacated site. What step is the ministry taking to make sure funds are available for the contractor to come back to site to complete these roads for the people of Ashiama? Thank you very much.
Honourable Member, question number 75, Roman I. It says the contractor is currently inactive on site. It did not say that a vacated site. Yes, your question was on the fact that you said he said he vacated, and I said no. He said inactive on site.
So thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. So the minister is saying the contractor is inactive. When will funds be made available for the contractor to be active on site? Thank you very much.
Okay, Minister. When will funds be made available for the contractor to be active on site?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I think I did give an answer why the contractor is inactive on site. I said due to financial constraint. And let us be honest to ourselves. Contracts are always between parties. And in this particular case, it is between the contractor and the government as the employer. The contractor is not active on site because he is facing financial challenges. We can only reactivate the contract by arranging some payment for the contractor. And we are in talks with all such contractors, and payments are ongoing from the Ministry of Finance payment point of view for all those who have contracts with what we call GOG, Government of Ghana. And I believe from next week, when the Road Fund Board is put in place, and we are anticipating that it will be in place perhaps in a week from now, then we shall also begin some payments from the road fund. So we are working to put all contractors back to site. And that is the only way we can assure that we reactivate the sites. And the process
Honourable Members, Second Deputy Speaker to take the chair. We move to question number 76. Question 76.
Yes.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I would like to ask the Minister for Roads and Highways when the Jirapa Town roads under construction will be completed.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
I thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, Jirapa is the capital of the Jirapa municipality in the Upper West region. The road network in Jirapa town is in poor condition, except the National Road N12, which passes through the town and continues to Hamile. Currently, Mr. Speaker, the Ghana Highway Authority awarded 3.1 kilometers of Jirapa town roads for upgrading to bituminous surface in 2016. The project commenced on 11 July 2016 and was scheduled for completion on 10 January 2018. The contractor executed clearing and earthworks on the following roads. 1. DC's Resident Road measuring 0.02 kilometers. 2. DC's Resident Road another 0.6 kilometers. 3. Community Training School Road measuring 0.2 kilometers. 4. Urban Clinic Road measuring 0.6 kilometers. And 5. Car Park Road measuring 0.7 kilometers. Physical work progress is estimated at 17% completion. Mr. Speaker, work has stalled and the contractor is not on site. Several warning letters, including notice to terminate the contract, have been issued to the contractor. Necessary steps are being taken to terminate the contract for non-performance. The Department of Urban Roads has also awarded the underlisted contracts in Jirapa Town. 1. Rehabilitation of selected roads in Jirapa Phase 1, measuring 5.7 kilometers. 2. Rehabilitation of selected roads in Jirapa Phase 2, measuring 8.8 kilometers. If I take the first one, rehabilitation of selected roads in Jirapa Phase 1, the project was awarded on 28 October 2020 for execution and completion in 24 calendar months. The contractor is yet to mobilize to site. And B, which is 2, rehabilitation of selected roads in Jirapa Phase 2, measuring 8.8 kilometers as aforementioned. The project commenced on May 14, 2019 for completion on May 13, 2021. Progress of works is at 32% physical completion. The contractor has not been on site since February 2021 due to delay in payment for work done. Efforts are being made to get the contractor back to site to complete all outstanding works. Mr. Speaker, work done to date include 7,400 meters long, 600 millimeter diameter concrete roof drains, and 1.2 meter diameter concrete pipe culvert. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honorable, any supplementary question?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I would like to ask the Minister whether he's aware that the drains that are being done by the contractors in the Jirapa town have tended to be causing floods and disasters in the town. Many pedestrians, citizens, and animals are now falling in those gutters.
The question is whether the minister is aware.
And what is he doing about it?
Minister, are you aware that the drains are turning into disaster ponds?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, that is not in my knowledge. The purpose of drains are to carry away rainwater so that we avoid flooding. But if, unfortunately, the opposite is happening, then it defeats the very purpose of constructing the roads. So, once it has been mentioned, I will pursue it, and find out the situation. The technical people will be sent there. Perhaps the width and the depth of the drains, are smaller compared to the volume of the rainwater. And if there is any defect, I want to assure you, the honourable member, that it will be corrected. So we shall assess the technical shortfalls of that project. Thank you.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, I would like the Minister to furnish this House and to give some assurance to the good people of Jirapa, time frame within which this remedy can be put in place. The last time I went home, in fact, the citizens pulled me to the Jirapa market to show me how uncomfortable the drains have caused them and what temporal measure we can put in place to ensure that we avert the situation. So it's just an assurance I want from the Minister. Which time frame can you do this for us?
Minister, assurance.
Mr. Speaker, it is the responsibility of government to safeguard the interest of citizens and to avoid disasters. This, to me, is even an emergency situation, particularly as we have entered the rainy season. And we should not wait until a disaster strikes. So I wish it had happened yesterday. So I will work with my colleague to ensure that we resolve this issue as soon as practicable. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, you allow supplementary question.
Right, Honourable Speaker, this one is an appeal to the Minister. I'd like to appeal to him to make some funding available to the contractor. On page 24 of his answer, he said that the contractor is not on site because of non-payment, and that is the responsibility of the Minister. When can the contractor be paid some money so that he can return to site?
Yes, Minister, an appeal to tell this House when the contractor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, all contractors who have legitimately worked have earned their incomes and they are to be paid. And it's on the front burner for government. And I indicated a short while ago that payment to contractors has begun, and it has begun from Ministry of Finance, GOG, and it will continue from the road fund in about a week's time. So I hear you, and when payments from road fund, where the contractors IPCs, that's interim payment certificates, originate, they will be paid for the contractor to be empowered to go back to site. So that will be done. I can give you that assurance. I thank you.
Yes, honorable members, we move to question number 77. That stands in the name of a member for Awutu Senya West, Honorable Gizera Tete Aboti. Honorable member, you may ask your question.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I rise to ask the Minister for Roads and Highways the steps being taken to ensure the completion of the road between Kodjasi and Agunas Radio in the Central Region. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
I thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, Bodjoasi to Aguna Swedro Road is 25.2 kilometers long and forms part of the interregional road IR01. The road is located in the Awutu Senya West in the Central Region. Currently, Mr. Speaker, the Bodjoasi Aguna Swedro Road is awarded for rehabilitation under the contract titled Partial Reconstruction of Bodjoasi Aguna Swedro Road. The project commenced on 15 June 2016 and was originally scheduled for completion on 12 June 2019. The project completion date has been extended to 12 December 2021. The contractor has substantially completed the work up to ceiling for the section between kilometers 7 and 17. The contractor is on site but at a slow work rate due to delayed payment for work done. The progress of work is 60% physical completion. The contractor is taking the necessary steps to ensure completion of the work by 12 December 2021. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Member, any supplementary question?
Yes, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm trying to reconcile the Minister's response vis-a-vis, he says the contractor is taking the necessary steps to ensure completion. But he also has indicated that the work is at a slow rate due to delayed payment for work done. So what steps should the contractor take as he is not able to work faster because there are delayed payments for the work already done? I'm trying to reconcile his answer.
So, Honorable Member, the question is split.
Right, Honorable Speaker, I'm trying to reconcile the Minister's answer. He's saying that the contractor is taking the necessary steps to ensure completion of the work. But the contractor is on site. He's at a slow work rate due to the delayed payment for the work done. So how do you reconcile the answer you have given me? Because it's not clear. How will he take the steps when he's working at a slow rate due to non-payment or delayed payment? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Mr. Minister. How can the contractor double the speed?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I don't see any ambiguity here at all. I have indicated that the work is going at a very, very slow pace and that the contractor has not abandoned site and that the difficulty is, if you like, genuinely due to delayed payment. So if my honorable colleague want any reconciliation. The reconciliation is simple and straightforward. The employer should do well to facilitate payment, and then the contractor will be energized to work. And that's exactly what I'm trying to put across. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, honorable member, any further questions?
Yes, Mr. Speaker. The road has developed death traps and gullies. Some of the drains that were constructed barely 8 months ago are broken, and the constituents are suffering. Mr. Minister, I'm appealing to you. As we've come here this afternoon, you've answered a lot of questions. I feel like a woman who is being given raps, and the raps are still not sinking in. I'm appealing to you, Mr. Minister. This road connects Western region and Central region to Eastern region. It is the only road that when you're coming from Winneba, Agunas Road, you can cross through to Insawam and continue to Kumasi. You yourself have indicated that it is an interregional road. So I would like an assurance from the minister that finally on 12 December, which is 6 months away from now, this road will be completed so that it will end the suffering of the people of Awutu Senior West. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, honorable minister.
I thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, like all other roads, and particularly the inter-regional roads, I am not unaware of their importance, particularly because of their regional connectivity. And I want to assure my colleague that I share her concern as an MP, and we are all members of Parliament. I know the pressure all of us face in our respective constituencies, particularly concerning our roads. Government is doing everything possible. Government is doing its best, and we shall continue to work together. That particular road has been on the drawing board. It started from 2016. And it's a very important road. Everything possible will be done, to make sure that we work on that road. That one I can assure you. And I require the support of all my colleagues. And let's work together, and not only during question time. Let us, as members of this honorable house, work together, and within the limited stretch of government budget, government will do its best on our road network. I thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, honorable member. That's your last supplementary
question. Yes, my last supplementary question. Therefore, Mr. Minister, may I know when at least the reshaping of the road could be done? Can that be done in a month? I'm a technical person, so I like timelines. So can it be done in a month, Mr. Minister? I went to the contractors yard to appeal to them myself, but I cannot touch the road because it is under contract. So that directive can come from you, Mr. Minister. Thank you.
Yes, honorable minister.
I thank you, Mr. Speaker. The importance of this road, if you want from my perspective, I wish that we work as fast as possible to start substantial work on it, even in less than a month, to bring relief to our people and the motoring public. So I would even say 1 month. I wish we could even do it less than that. And that should tell you the importance of this road and how I attach seriousness to it. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable member for the due.
Right, Honorable Speaker, I just want to, as a follow-up to the question, I just want to ask the Honorable Minister, kilometer 7 to 17, where does it cover on that particular road? Because I was in that constituency this very weekend. I want to know kilometer 7 to 17, where does it cover?
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have said that the entire stretch of the road is about 25.5 kilometers. So if I talk about between kilometer 7, kilometer 17, I am telling you a stretch of the road in between covering 10 kilometers. But obviously, I cannot say that you start from this town to that town. That's why I have given the marriage, in between. I can't mention the town. I mean, that is not in my mind.
Honorable member for the you've exhausted
No,
your time. You have only one.
Honorable Speaker, it's on the same answer that you gave me. The reason why, the reason why I'm asking is that I'm not asking another question. I just want further elucidation from him. You see, Honorable Speaker,
I wouldn't admit it. Yes, Honorable Leader.
Right, Honorable Speaker. I think that the member, because of the answer given by the Honorable Minister, he wanted further explanation. So if we can allow him to do a follow-up.
Leader, respectfully, the rule is that the questioner, after the main question, can ask 3 supplementary questions. Any other member in this chamber will have only one slot if you want to ask the question. So he has asked the question, the minister has answered the question. So you can ask another question if you want to find out more about the question he gave.
Mr. Speaker, with all due respect, I don't have any other question. But the member asked a question, the minister answered. Does it mean that the rule is that if the minister answers a question and the member wants a further clarification, he cannot ask? Is that a rule? If that is a rule, let's know. That is why I said we should allow him to do a follow-up. Please, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Leader.
Speaker, respectfully, I will not litigate on this matter. But my good friend knows that the Honorable Member came on a follow-up. And a follow-up, he has already exhausted his chance on the follow-up question. So he should rather accede to the ruling of the Speaker. In any case, Speaker, the interpretation of our laws lies in the bosom of the Speaker. And so we may have to respect the ruling of the Speaker and let things stand as it is. That notwithstanding, there are a number of questions that has to be exhausted. This is a constituency-specific question. So, Leader, will you be kind enough to allow proceedings to proceed? Speaker, I think we should make progress. And he has exhausted his time.
Yes, Honorable Member for Busa South.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to provide information in support of the Minister. Kilometer 0 to 7 is what is left, and it's from Bodrasi to Okitu. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Minister, did you get the question? Honorable Member, may you repeat the question, please? Oh, okay. So he's a technical man and he's supporting you. Is that not the case? Yes. Okay.
Mr. Speaker, with the highest respect, I did not say that kilometer 7 to kilometer 17, the stretch and the names are unknown to the ministry. I didn't say so. Mr. Speaker, respectfully, what I said was that I was dealing with the kilometric, and I cannot conjure anything on top of my hurt my mind when I am appearing before this august house. That's why I said that I was dealing with kilometers. So if I said kilometer 7 to kilometer 17, is in between that stretch of the road covering 10 kilometers. But I cannot just say that the kilometer 7 starts from this particular town to that particular town. Yes, it's known to us, and if that information, was to be provided, yes, I can provide it at the right time. But once appearing before this house, I will not conjure, things that I am not sure of. That is all. But it doesn't mean it's not known to us, where that road lies. We are in charge of the roads across the country, and we have every information. And if it was to be provided, it could be provided. I thank you.
Yes, honorable members, we move to question number 78 on the other paper. That stands in the name of a member for South Tongue, Honorable Kwabena Mensah William. Honorable, you may ask your question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, before I read the question, may I use the opportunity to correct the spelling of one of the towns, Sope. It is spelled S-O-K-P-O-E. So the O is missing. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to ask the Minister for Roads and Highways when the following township roads of major towns in the Southern District will be improved: Sugakope Town Roads, Dabala Town Roads, Sope Town Roads, Tefle Town Roads. Mr. Speaker, thank you.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
I thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I thank my colleague for the correction. We have taken note for the future reporting on this road. Mr. Speaker, Sugakope, Dabala, Sopo, and Tefre are all major roads in Southern District. The road network within this town is in fair to poor condition. Currently, Mr. Speaker, the program is that there is no rehabilitation program for Sugakope, Dabala, and Sopo towns. However, Mr. Speaker, a contract for the bitumen surfacing of Tefre Town Road was awarded on 13 February 2020 and commenced on 8 June 2020 for completion on 7 June 2021. The progress of work to date is projected at 8% physical completion. The contractor will be issued with a warning letter to remobilize to site, failure of which the necessary processes will be initiated to terminate the contract and repackage for award. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honorable.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, rightly mentioned by the Minister at the portion which I want to quote, that there is no rehabilitation program for Sugakope, Dabala, and Sope towns. And the Minister informed this House when maybe the period by which you will likely consider these towns for a possible work to commence. If you can kindly furnish the House with a possible time or period when you are likely to consider these towns for some work to commence, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
I thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I did indicate that these 4 towns are very important towns in the Southern district. And even personally, these towns are very well known to me. And their economic importance of this country, particularly Sogakope and Dabala, is not in doubt at all. And road construction is ongoing. I've said Tefre is already awarded last year, is under construction. Even though work is not progressing as expected, contractor is on site. We shall have to do the needful to enable the contractor finish that road work. Sugakope, Dabara, Sopo will be considered this year. Action will be initiated, but of course it will not form part of 2021 program because it has to be budgeted for. But it's planned that by 2022, these 3 towns could be considered in the midst of town roads to be developed across the country. And I urge my colleague, as he has been doing all the time, we should work together. I thank you.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, may I put a request? Whilst we are waiting for the time when they are considered for the works, it appears it's getting so bad now. It's becoming very terrible to drive within the towns because of the erosions, and then the rains have actually exposed the very bad nature of it. Would the minister consider carrying out some little works, gravel works here and there to sort of help, an easy movement of cars and everybody, and some kind of works to remedially, solve the problem, while we wait for the major works? Yes, Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, that is a very reasonable request, and it can be accommodated. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Last supplementary question. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the works at Stefle clearly has delayed because of maybe the contractor not speeding and working according to the schedule. And so the indication that the contractor will be issued with a warning letter to remobilize, and if he fails, the subsequent goes on. Will the minister indicate when this letter will be ready for the contractor, so that at least we can all be monitoring to see and ensure that the acts rightly put here, it's carried out and with the speed that it deserves? Minister, when will the warning letters go to the contractors?
I thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, that could be done as soon as possible, but at times, considering scheme of things, we hesitate a bit in terminating contracts. At times, if you think between termination and repackaging and re-awarding, perhaps it is better to take the former option, if it's possible to empower the same contractor to continue, that's by examining, the cause or causes of the delay. In most cases, they are attributed to delay payments. So we don't rush to issue termination letters. You are this particular contractor, and the contractor on that road is Kincaid Limited. And since it's your constituency, you know the seriousness with which the contractor started the work. And he had done some good work because he did the site clearing. 600 meters of 600 millimeter concrete U-drains had been done, and he had done, as much as 2 kilometers of sub-base. So if he had continued, to the base and primary sea level, at least 2 kilometers of Tefre town roads would have been primary sealed and sealed. If he is empowered a bit, he can do a better job than just, rushing to terminate before going through all the processes again. So I want to assure you that we shall do what is in the maximum interest of our people in Tefre. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, honourable member.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, from the Minister's answer, it shows clearly that the contractor has delayed the project. In every contract, there is what we call performance bond. Performance bond is to guide both the client and the contractor. When the contractor is delaying, you can either evoke the performance bond. I want to ask the minister whether he has, the ministry has evoked the performance bond or the consultant has evoked the performance bond of the contractor. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, honourable minister.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, that is true. That is the importance of the performance bond as the security measure. But we know exactly when to invoke that clause of the contract. In this particular instance, we haven't gotten there. But I can assure the honourable member that every contract executed has incorporated in it the performance bond, and when it becomes necessary, we invoke that clause. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, we move to question number 79. That stands in the name of a member for Esujaman, Honorable Thomas Nyakwampin. Honorable, may I ask your question?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to ask the Minister for Roads and Highways why construction works on the Osibin-Enum-Boso-Tongo Road has halted. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, Osibin to Enum to Boso to Tongo Road is 19.4 kilometers long. It's a trunk road located in the Sujaman district of the eastern region. The road is gravel surface and in poor condition. Currently, Mr. Speaker, the road was awarded for rehabilitation under the contract titled Rehabilitation of Enum Junction, that is Osibin to Enum Boso to Tor Parliament Road, measuring 19.4 kilometers. The project commenced on 7 March 2020 and is scheduled for completion on 6 March 2022. Progress of work is 24% physical completion. Work has stalled due to delay in payment for work done. The contractor is not on site. Efforts are being made to get the contractor back to site to complete the project. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, honorable member.
Mr. Speaker, the minister states that the work is scheduled to be completed on 6th March 2022. Is that date the original completion date, or it has been extended? Is that date the original completion date, or this is an extended date?
Yes, honorable minister.
Mr. Speaker, the commencement date was 8 June 2020, and it was intended to be completed on 7th June 2021. And I have indicated here that the project commenced on 7th March 2020 and scheduled for completion on 6th March 2022. So it has moved from 2021 to 2022. So that is not the original date for completion. There has been an extension. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, honorable member.
Mr. Speaker, the nature of the road as we speak now is worse than how it was before construction started. That is the worry of my people. In the minister's responses today to almost all the questions, he indicates that efforts are being made to get contractor back on site, efforts are being made. In this specific instance, he has indicated that there is a delay in payment. Is the effort that we are making to get the contractor back on site include making sure that the contractor is paid?
Yes, honorable minister.
Mr. Speaker, I thank you. And Mr. Speaker, that is not in doubt. And in contractual relationship, parties have their respective duties and responsibilities. And I have not hidden from the cause of the delay. I have indicated clearly that delay payment has caused the delay in the execution of the project. I do not want to go into the details of it, but government will do its part and try to effect payment for the contractor to go back. So contractors are also expected to be resourceful. In this particular case, the contractor has not worked up to that level. But that notwithstanding, the most important thing is to get the job done. And I've indicated that payment to contractors from government sources has already begun. And the government sources are two, either from GOG sources or from road fund. And payment from GOG sources is in currency. And within a week, it will be followed from the road fund source as well. And we are doing some work on all outstanding jobs, and we will make sure that we empower contractors by paying them to go back to site. I thank you.
Yes, honorable, last supplementary question.
I see my colleague is eager because that's the main road to his hometown. But Mr. Speaker, I'm sure in all these lengthy talks, what my constituents and probably Honorable Dafiameko's constituents.
No, what did you say? Did you say plenty talks? Did I hear that?
Yes, in all the
withdraw.
Okay, I withdraw.
You brought the minister here to answer questions, and you say
in all the responses that have been given, the specific interest that my constituents and I have is when exactly, in your estimation, do you think the contractor can return to site to continue the construction for them?
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Why I do not want to mention any specific date, any specific time. It is my wish that the contractor had returned to work yesterday. So we are doing everything possible for the contractor to go to site. And that will be done as soon as practicable. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Member for Saudai.
Mr. Speaker, I thank you for the opportunity. I can see that my uncle is pretty tired, but that's the work. Mr. Speaker, the road in question, it's actually a 25.5 kilometers, stretching from Osibin and Numbusu to Tongo to Germany. But in awarding the contract, the Tongo to Germany section, which is 6.6 kilometers, had been taken out. And so we have applied through the Department of Highways to the minister for purposes of approval of that section leading to variation. And so the interest of my people, Mr. Speaker, is to find out from my uncle if the approval will be given, so that when the contractor Reliance, when he returns to site, the section, the 6.6 kilometers, which is the end point to the lake, will be taken care of. I thank you.
Yes, Mr. Minister.
I thank you, Mr. Speaker. I can confirm what my honorable colleague just mentioned. Behind the scene, he has even already brought it to my attention, but I'm sure he wants to put it on official record once I am here. And I can assure him, when he brought it to my attention, I conferred with my technical people, and he was proven right. Even for proper alignment of that road, that small stretch is to be added. So I've already given approval to that effect. So I can assure you, when contractor goes back to site, I think it measures about 6 kilometers or so. I can assure you that we are going to do a variation order to add it. So rest assured.
We move to question number 80. That stands in the name of the same member for Sujaman, Honorable Nyakwampim.
I'm grateful again, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity to ask the Minister for Roads and Highways what has accounted for the delay in the construction of the Akosombo-Jekiti Road in the Asojaman district and when the contractor will return to site. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Akosobo-Jakiti feeder road is 24.1 kilometer long and located in the Sujaman district of the Eastern region. A 3-kilometer section of the road is primer sealed in fair condition, whereas the remaining 21.1 kilometer is gravel surface in poor condition. Currently, Mr. Speaker, contract for the bitumen surfacing of Akosombo to Edumasa to Jakiti to Lava Off Junction feeder road measuring 24.1 kilometers commenced on 10th October 2016 and was expected to be completed on 9th October 2017. The contractor abandoned the site after executing works up to 3 kilometers of primer seal and 21.1 kilometers of gravel surface. Progress of work as at the time of vacation of site was projected at 35% physical completion. The prolonged delay in reactivating the site led to the termination and repackaging of the contract for award. The future program on this road is, Mr. Speaker, procurement for the repackaged contract is ongoing and the contract will be awarded by 15th July 2020, which is tomorrow. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, honorable member.
Thank you very much, Minister, for the response. Well, Minister, on the 5th of July 2019, I filed a question on this same road, and in the minister's response, he said, and it's captured in our Hansard, column 3034, dated 5th July 2019, and I quote just a small portion. I am aware that the contractor had worked to the tune of over 4 million cedis and nothing has been paid to him yet. That was your response, a section of your response on the 5th of July 2019 on the same road. Today, you say the contractor has abandoned the site after executing works up to 3 kilometers of primer seal. Do you think that the contractor abandoned site because of the statement you made, because of the non-payment to the contractor? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, honorable minister.
I thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, yes, I can testify that the contract sum for this project is around 17 million Ghana cedis, and the certified IPC, that is the interim payment certificate in our possession, that is the Road Fund Secretariat, is around 5 million and is part of the payment schedule. You know, the IPC is scheduled for payment, you know, in about a week or maximum 2 times. So payment is going to be effective. I thank you.
Yes, honorable member.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the minister gives quite a refreshing information that a new contract will be awarded on the 15th. Today is 13th, right? So that is just 2 days from today. But I want to draw his attention that from Marine, Akosombo, just about 2 kilometers, there is a culvert that has collapsed and is almost rendering the road impassable. Those communities beyond that place risk not being able to visit those communities, risk being cut off from the rest of us. When the contract is awarded, will the minister ensure that the contractor moves to site immediately, at least to work on that section, so that the communities at Dumasa, Jekiti, Pembrasi, Kudikofe, and all these communities are not cut off from the rest of Ghana? Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I am very sure that since the contractor has the responsibility to work on that road, what the honorable member is complaining about obviously will be part of the scope of work for the contractor. And any contractor on any road, anywhere, has the responsibility to make the road motorable once that site has been handed over to him. So what you said is right and is the obvious thing to do. So the contractor going on site will have to work on any section that is being problematic, and it will be treated on an emergency basis. And I can even assure you, go further, to give you that assurance that should even the contractor delay in going to site, and that problem is cutting off some of our people, to make some areas inaccessible, the ministry will come in itself by sending and dispatching our mobile maintenance unit to go and work on it. Have that assurance. There is no way any part of this country will be allowed to be cut off because of such emergencies. I can assure you that. Thank you.
Honorable members, we move to question number 81, and that is the last question to the minister, which stands the name for a member of for Central Tongue. Yes, Mr. Alexander Roosevelt Ochizi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, to ask the Minister for Roads and Highways why the contractor on the Kwejeglo, Mafizongo, Mafi Agovi road left sides.
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Kwejeglo to Mafi Songo, Mafi Agovi road is 17.5 kilometers. It is an earth road in poor condition and located in the Central Town District of the Volta region. Mr. Speaker, currently, the first 9.5 kilometers of the road was awarded for bitumen surfacing. The works commenced on 2nd January 2017 for completion on 2nd January 2018. The contractor vacated the site after vegetation clearing and formation of the road. Warning letters have been issued for the contractor to return to site, failure of which the necessary processes will be initiated to terminate the contract. Mr. Speaker, the remaining 8 kilometers of the road were packaged with the Agave to Afedoni feeder road and was awarded as bitumen surfacing of Agave, Afedoni feeder road measuring 21 kilometers and Kwejegro to Agovi Feeder Road Phase 2, measuring 9 between kilometer 9.5 to 17.5 kilometers. The contract commenced on 30th September 2016 and was expected to be completed on 30th September 2018. The contractor vacated site after executing the following works: 9 kilometers of clearing, 3.8 kilometers of formation, filling to existing box culverts, 8 number of 900 millimeter diameter pad culverts, 1 number 2/900 millimeter diameter pad culvert, and 1 number 1,200 millimeter diameter pipe culvert. Mr. Speaker, the progress of work is projected at 14% physical completion. Mr. Speaker, warning letters have again been issued for the contractor to return to site, favor of which the necessary processes would be initiated to terminate the contract and re-award. Thank you.
Do you have any further question? Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Minister has just indicated to this House that warning letters were going to be issued after the date of completion of this project elapsed in 2018. May I find out from the Minister if the contract has since been terminated and re-awarded after the issuing of the warning letters to the contractor?
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, thank you. Mr. Speaker, there are 2 contractors involved here. Who are executing this project. Mr. Speaker, the contractors are CNF Company Limited and Greenhouse International Development Ghana Limited. And Mr. Speaker, in both instances, my answers regarding warning letters were conditions precedent attached. I said that warning letters had been issued to them as part of the initial processes. Failure of which, so there is a caveat there, failure of which the contract will be terminated. And when we issue such warning letters, we have time limit, and the technical people are following very closely on that. Normally we issue first, second warning letters before we terminate. So we are keeping an eye on those timelines. And I can assure you that if the contractors don't stick to the admonition contained in the warning letters, we shall do what is supposed to be done. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker,
That's your final supplementary question.
Mr. Speaker, can the Honorable Minister tell me exactly the timeline within which these warning letters are to be issued, when they are to be complied with, and when the ministry is supposed to take action to ensure that the contractor returns to site?
Yes, Honorable Minister.
I thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, in all these matters, I am not unconscious of the fact that time is of great essence. And I am convinced that we normally allow an intervening period, an average period of about 2 weeks. So, with both 2 warning mandatory letters, within a maximum of 4 weeks, we should be in the position to terminate the contract. And I know that the first warning letters have been issued, so perhaps we are left with an average of about 2 weeks, after which, if they don't go to site, both contracts will be terminated.
No, member, are you not okay?
Mr. Speaker, this same contract is supposed to be completed in 2018. And if the minister is telling me that it takes them just 2 weeks, 4 weeks for warning letters to be issued and contractors to comply with immediate effect, 2018, that is February, was the time that the contract was supposed to end. And we are in 2021, and I can see my way clear. Is the minister telling me that ever since these warning letters were issued, this contractor has still not complied or has still not responded to enable the ministry move forward?
Yes, Honorable Minister.
Mr. Speaker, when examining such projects, perhaps we do not only have to look at the years. Otherwise, this project even started in 2016, but you can get a contractor who will be working on the project and might not have abandoned site, but work will not be progressing as expected because of the contractor's capacity. But if it comes to a point where you have to issue warning letters, then it will be a point where the contractor might have either vacated site completely or stopped work completely. So even though you may be looking at it from, say, 2016, 2017, expected to be completed in 2018, at times if you examine it properly, the contractor might have been on site all along, and the road length is quite long, but he was not working as expected. So when it comes to the time of taking concrete action, already some time might have elapsed. But the most important thing is that now we have come to a situation where action is being taken. And don't forget, contractual issues and contractual terms must be respected. It's not something that you can overlook and do things arbitrarily. All this while, action might not have been taken because the contractor was found on site. And that's why I am informing you through this answer that now we are convinced that steps must be taken for the contractor either to show seriousness and go back to work, or we will not hesitate to terminate the contract and give it to a more competent contractor to execute. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable member. Yes, honorable member.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I have a particular interest in this person because a particular road, Mr. Minister is aware of, the Agave Apodimo Road was mentioned, being the 21 kilometers road, which was also equally abandoned. And you've been here, I think 2 years ago, and assured myself and then the community that it will be done. So today we haven't seen anything. So we want to ask, what actually accounted for the contractor's vacation of the road? I mean, the construction. Why did they vacate the job? Because it was the contractor vacated the site after vegetation and clearing.
Honorable, what's the question, please?
Yes, the question is, per the statement here, the contractor vacated the site after vegetation clearing and formation of the road, and I'm sure similar happened on the Agave Road. What accounted for that action of the contractor? And Minister finished the house. What went into that? I'm sure after engagement with the contractor.
Yes, Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as I mentioned a short while ago, and we all know, contracts are between parties, and contracts specify terms, obligations, and conditions, and every contract is determined by the agreed obligations of parties, and road contracts are between contractors and the government as the employer. So each has its own duties, responsibilities, and obligations to discharge, and a contract can be determined if a party fails to discharge, his or his side of the obligation. So it could be the fault of the contractor or the fault of the employer. So I cannot specify any one reason why work delays. It could be the fault of the contractor. The contractor may or might have won the contract, but moving to the site may not have the required capacity, to execute the work, and this could be due to a number of reasons, or it could be on the part of the government as an employer. But whatever is the situation, once a party fails to discharge each side of the obligation, the contract obviously will be determined. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, honorable members, you've brought question time to a close. Honorable Minister, we thank you very much. You've been here to answer 12 separate questions. We are grateful to you for attending upon the House. You are hereby discharged. Yes, honorable members. Yes, honorable Majority Whip.
Speaker, with your leave, if we may take other people addendum and seek your accordingly seek your indulgence for the Minister for Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs to do the laying. flyers.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I wish to seek your leave to withdraw the term loan agreement between the Government of the Republic of Ghana, acting through the Ministry of Finance, and the National Investment Bank Limited for an amount of 28 million cedis, 28 million United States dollars. Mr. Speaker, I also seek your leave to withdraw the term loan agreement between the Government of the Republic of Ghana, acting through the Ministry of Finance and the National Investment Bank for an amount of 3,500,000 United States dollars, and also to withdraw the request for waiver of import duty.
Speaker.
Have you moved?
Yes.
Well. Yes. Honorable members, the leave is granted. Papers accordingly withdrawn.
Speaker, we will now seek your indulgence again for same minister to do the laying.
Yes, Honorable Minister. That is addendum paper Roman number 1.
Term loan agreement between the Government of the Republic of Ghana, acting through the Ministry of Finance and the National Investment Bank Limited for an amount of 28 million United States dollars.
Yes, honorable members, Honorable Minister Roman number 2.
Term loan agreement between the Government of the Republic of Ghana, acting through the Ministry of Finance and the National Investment Bank Limited for an amount of 3,500,000 United States dollars.
Yes, Honorable Minister Roman number 3.
Request for waiver of import duty, import debt fund levy, import NHIL, import VAT, exim levy, COVID-19 recovery levy, special import levy, ECOWAS levy, inspection fees and withholding tax, IRS tax deposit, amount equivalent of 13,387,500 United States dollars.
Members, the agreements and the requests are referred to the Finance Committee for consideration and report to the House. Yes, Honorable Leader.
Speaker, we can now go on to main and take item number 8, presentation of papers, and take item 8C, C for camera on page 4.
Yes, Honorable Minister for Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs.
Budget performance report in respect of the Ministry of Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs for the period January to December 2020.
All members, the report has been duly presented. It is referred to the Committee on Youth, Sports and Culture for consideration and report.
Speaker, still on item 8, we can take item 8F. Speaker, with your leave, F on page 5. F, I would again seek your leave for the Minister for Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs to do the needful.
Yes, Honorable.
Budget Performance Report in respect of the Ministry of Defense for the period January to December 2020.
Yes, honorable members, the report has been duly presented. It is referred to the Committee on Defense and Interior for consideration and report.
Speaker, item number 8, BII. Again, with your leave, for Chief Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs to do the laying.
8 EII. Yes, Honorable Minister.
Annual statement by the Audit Committee of the Ministry of Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation for the year 2020.
Honorable members, the report has been duly presented. It is referred to the Committee on Environment, Science and Technology for consideration and report.
Speaker, with your kindness, I had sought your leave for the laying of 8B, I, and II, the two. I don't know, but I get the sense we only laid one.
Okay, then.
Budget Performance Report in respect of the Ministry of Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation for the period January to December 2020.
Yes, honorable members, the report is duly presented. It will refer to the Committee on Environment, Science and Technology for consideration and report.
Speaker, I believe we can now take item number 8A and take 8A II from II to VIN. So we exclude I, the first one.
From II
to VIN, Speaker.
V. Okay, very well.
And with your indulgence, the Honorable Deputy Majority Leader is here to do the laying for us.
Public Procurement Performance Assessment Report in respect of Parliamentary Service for the year 2019.
This is II.
Budget Performance Report in respect of the National Labour Commission for the period January to December 2020.
Yes, honorable members, the report has been duly presented. It was referred to the Committee on Constitutional, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs for consideration and report.
May I draw your attention to the first referral, the II. It wasn't clear. I don't know if Speaker. No, that was the second one. The first one, I'm talking about the II. Yeah.
Okay.
May I know the committee?
So that one is referred to the Committee on Employment and Social Welfare.
Okay.
Budget Performance Report in respect of the Electoral Commission for the period January to December 2020.
Honorable members, the report is duly presented. It is referred to the special budget for consideration and report. IV. Honorable Leader. Yes, IV.
Annual reports and audited accounts of the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission for the year 2019.
Yes, honorable members, the report is duly presented. It is referred to the Committee on Mines and Energy and Housing, West and Housing. Yes, leader, finally, IV.
Speaker, we can now take item 8D, D for Daniel, D on page 5. Item 8D, and from I to VI. Okay. Speaker, seek your leave for the Deputy Minister for Local Government, Decentralization, Rural Development to do the laying.
Very well. So, page 5. I.
Budget performance report in respect of the Ministry of Local Government, Decentralization and Rural Development for the period January to December 2020.
Honourable members, the report has been duly presented. It was referred to the Committee on Local Government and Rural Development for consideration and report. I.
Annual statement by the Audit Committee of the Teshima North District Assembly for the year 2020.
Honourable members, the report has been duly presented. It was referred to the Committee on Local Government, Rural Development for consideration and report. I.
Annual statement by the Audit Committee of the Ladade Kotopon Municipal Assembly for the year 2020.
Honourable members, the report has been duly presented. It was referred to the Committee on Local Government and Rural Development for consideration and report. IV.
Annual statement by the Audit Committee of the Lejokuku Municipal Assembly for the year 2020.
Honourable members, the report has been duly presented. It is referred to the Committee on Local Government and Rural Development for consideration and report. V.
We are sending computer lab.
Annual statement by the Audit Committee of the Ofori-Kurom Municipal Assembly for the year 2020.
Honourable members, the report has been duly presented. It is referred to the Committee on Local Government and Rural Development for consideration and report. VI.
Annual statement by the Audit Committee of the Tano North Municipal Assembly for the year 2020.
Honourable members, the report has been duly presented. It is referred to the Committee on Local Government and Rural Development for consideration and report. Yes, leader.
Speaker, I believe we can now take item 8E on page 5, E for Emmanuel. And Speaker, with your kind indulgence, allow the Minister for Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs to do that for us. 8E for Emmanuel. E.
But E, we have taken I and II.
Speaker, we haven't.
We've already taken I and II.
Speaker, I'm referring to E, 8E. No, you have not.
We've done 8E, I, and II.
Speaker, I thank you for your indulgence. So we'll take 8E, I, and IV.
Annual statement by the Audit Committee of the Nuclear Regulatory Authority for the year 2020.
Honourable members, the report has been duly presented. It is referred to the Committee on Environment, Science and Technology for consideration and report. IV.
Annual statement by the Audit Committee of the Environmental Protection Agency for the year 2020.
Honourable members, the report has been duly presented. It is referred to the Committee on Environment, Science and Technology for consideration and report. Yes, Leader.
Speaker, with respect, we can now go on to item 8B. 8B, G for Bell, page 4, and take I and II. Again, Speaker, with your indulgence and with the ever dependable cooperation of the Deputy Minority Leader, allow the Minister for Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs to do the laying as usual.
Very well. Honourable Minister.
Host country agreement for the establishment of a branch office of the MasterCard Foundation in Accra, Ghana.
Honourable members, the agreement has been duly presented. It is referred to the Committee on Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration for consideration and report.
Budget performance report in respect of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration for the period January to December 2020.
Honourable members, the report has been duly presented. It is the Committee on Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration for consideration and report.
Speaker, 8J. And Speaker, again, with your indulgence, allow the Minister for Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs to do that. It's just laying. Do it for us.
Is it G?
Speaker, G. G for God. And it's on page 6.
Very well. Honourable Minister.
Budget performance report in respect of the Ministry of Trade and Industry for the period January to December 2020.
Honourable members, the report has been duly presented. It will refer to the Committee on Trade and Tourism for consideration and report. Yes, Honourable Leader.
We have 8H. H for House, page 6. Again, with your kindness, be done by the Minister for Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs. And Speaker, we are taking from I to I. All the three.
Very well. Yes, Honourable Minister.
Performance report in respect of the Ministry of Finance for the period January to December 2020.
Honourable members, the report has been duly presented. It is referred to the Finance Committee for consideration and report.
Annual statement by the Audit Committee of the Social Security and National Insurance Trust, SNET, for the year 2020.
Honorable members, the report has been duly presented. It is referred to the Committee for Finance to consider and report to the House. I.
Annual statement by the Audit Committee of the National Insurance Commission for the year 2020.
Honorable members, the report has been duly presented. It is referred to the Finance Committee for consideration and report. Yes, Leader.
Speaker, we can go on to next to H, which is I. And we'll take all the, from I to IV, Speaker, again to be done by the Minister for Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs. Your kindness.
Did you say I?
Speaker, from I to IV.
No, I mean the main item. That's for Minister of Health.
Yes, Speaker.
Okay, very well. Yes, Minister.
Annual statement by the Audit Committee of the Draven Government Hospital for the year 2020.
Honorable members, the report has been duly presented. It is referred to the Committee on Health for consideration and report.
Annual statement by the Audit Committee of the School of Anesthesia and Critical Care, Ridge, Accra, for the year 2020.
Honorable members, the report has been duly presented. It is referred to the Committee on Health for consideration and report.
Annual statement by the Audit Committee of the Tamale Teaching Hospital for the year 2020.
Honorable members, the report has been duly presented. It will refer to the Committee on Health for consideration and report. IV.
Annual statement by the Audit Committee of the Food and Drugs Authority for the year 2020.
Honorable members, the report has been duly presented. It is referred to the Committee on Health for consideration and report. Yes, Honorable Leader.
Speaker, I believe we've exhausted business for the day, and I'll move for an adjournment tomorrow, 2 p.m. I so move, Speaker.
Tomorrow, 2. Yes.
Speaker, I second the motion to adjourn the House to tomorrow at 2 p.m.
Honorable members, the House is accordingly adjourned till tomorrow, the 14th, 2021, at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. The House stands adjourned.